idea, and kind of get clear with everyone where we're at in the cycle. So I think I should dive in on that, and maybe you clean it up a little bit.
Sure.
Cool. So my friends, everyone in here, welcome. We're at this turning of the age right now. We see so many things speeding up, so many changes happening all over the world so rapidly. And, this time has been kind of prophesied for a long time, and this massive awakening that's happening right now. And as the chaos erupts, basically what I want to say is as the gates of heaven open, so do the gates of hell, as above, so below. We're going to go through a time of massive disillusionment and massive kind of destruction of old systems and old paradigms through this great awakening. And where we are in this grand cycle actually is moving out of the dark age. You see, 12,000 years ago was the end of the Atlantean times, and it was the end of the golden age. And the masters of wisdom saw that the golden age was coming to an end, that the cycle was going to turn, that the wheel was going to shift, because they understood these great cycles in nature. And this shift was kind of facilitated by a descent in consciousness, which was the consequence of the etheric energy on Earth lessening. Essentially like the sacred mist, if you want to call it. The etheric energy on the planet was lessening as our entire, system went through different phases, different cycles in the cosmos. And through that dark age, the masters of wisdom saw that, wow, we're going to this dark age. Let's plant time capsules of this ancient knowledge, right? So in this younger Dryas period, after the poles shifted and the end of the ice age and Atlantis sank under the waters, right? The masters of wisdom spread this knowledge to the Sumerian culture, to the Incas, to the Aztecs, to the Egyptians, to the Celtics. They established all these sacred temples of learning. They brought these almost more primitive people, and they developed agriculture. They developed, building megaliths that we couldn't even match today. They created these civilization. They taught healing. They taught the arts. They taught astronomy and astrology, right? And in these time capsules, they were created based off the cultural landscape and the environment. The Anishinaabe tribe in America had different teachings like of the same truth, right? The Hopi, the Inca, the Egyptians. These were all time capsules for this knowledge. And this knowledge was preserved through them, although they knew it was going to deteriorate as systems and dogmatic institutions formed around these deeper truths, right? And the religions fall. In the descent of consciousness of the dark age, everything was going to fall because it would be misunderstood. But the hope was that these time capsules would bring through the essential core. And in this time right now, in this mass spread of information and this mass awakening, that leaders would learn to embody that knowledge and relearn the organic truth that was trying to be communicated. And through that organic truth, right, rediscover the knowledge for themselves, the living word once more. And that's the time we're in right now. And the crazy thing is if we're anchored in the world right now, if we're anchored in the external, the realm of changes and effects, right? This time's going to be so chaotic. It's going to be so crazy. It's going to be so scary, so much panic, constant change. But as that starts happening, those who have been sowing the good seed in good soil are getting closer and closer to the spirit, are feeling the pull stronger and stronger and anchoring themselves in that eternal. And it's kind of like the separation of the wheat and the chaff, per se. That's kind of what I see going down right now. And we got 20 people in here. That is amazing. Tribe, this broadcast is for all of us here. It is to sync up on the same frequency and really feel and let this knowledge, let this collective wave sink in. So I see the chat lighting up. We're about to address that together. I cannot wait to see what kind of comes from this. Thank you for being here. Keep going with the chat and questions. And Kayte, do you have anything to add to that story I just told?
Yeah, thanks for sharing that story. I think the most important part is that they were seeds planted from a long time ago for the people of our age and our of this time of 2020, where our consciousness is, where our self work is, where our morals and principles are, um, who is running our world, who is running our country. All of those things are sort of like the fertile soil for these seeds or lessons to be received in. You know, like you almost need a catalyst or like a crisis in order to really receive the esotericism and the true value of these words. Like if everything's good and you're practicing love and light, you're not truly getting to the root core of why we need these and why our consciousness is ascending, why we are being birthed, why this turning of the wheel per se is happening to us now is yeah, like yeah, yeah. It's time.
Yeah.
And we know it's time. We're aware. We came here because we're ready to take part in it. We want to. Now. The time is now, and more people from more and more places are uncovering these truths with the help of teachers and books and different sources, especially on YouTube and the internet, to receive like the divine wisdom that we need in order to realize what is happening to earth, what is happening to consciousness, and actively choose to participate in it and choose to observe yourself in all of the philosophies with embodiment. And
let's hit on that in a second here. Yeah. The embodiment part. You brought up a lot of good points. Thank you. Guys, this is the greatest time ever to choose to incarnate on this plane, period. If you're watching this video, if you're in this community, know you have the most amazing time to be alive right in front of us, right here and now. Like we put in our lots. Everyone's trying to get in right now. Why? Because this is going to be the most intense shift ever seen on the face of the earth. We're at the far end of polarity right now. If we look at that external world and where our culture and society has fallen to.
Would you say it's an inhale or an exhale of the universe? Like, where are we at in the breath?
We're at the top. We're at complete crystallization into material. Complete Shakti, the fallen image of Shakti running wild. That's Kali. And that's the feminine ruling. We're about to enter an exhale, a massive disillusionment, a massive dissolving of systems, of cycles, of paradigms, right? And refinding of the essential core of one's being. But why this is the most amazing time to be alive is because you have the greatest opportunity in front of you. You have the greatest opportunity to be part of, to catalyze, to, make a stand in perhaps, the greatest event to go down in history. And that is this massive turning of the wheel. So to be here is an honor. And as things get crazier and crazier and crazier out here, we need to look through the eyes of understanding and wisdom, period. Because if we're ignorant, if we're living in ignorance, fear is the byproduct. We will live in fear and reaction to what's going on. But the message right now is of faith and understanding. Through the eyes of wisdom, when you see what's going on out here, you're like, I've been anticipating this for a long time. Like Kayte was not surprised. Not at all. And through those eyes of wisdom, when you see these effects, these changes happening on Earth plane, you're like, well, that's the nature of Earth. That's the nature of life, is change. And when changes are happening on this grand, of a level, earthquakes, 5G, coronavirus, massive social economic experiments going down right now, the dark faces kind of being shown, the deeper truths being known. When shit's going down on that level, the wise really anchor in what's true and realize that there is equal and opposite energy coming from the heavens. If Earth has this much change going on, this much chaos erupting, this many hands and cards being shown, know the heavens have the equal and opposite in store. It's unseen, it's invisible, So to the ignorant, that's, it's never realized. But right now is so powerful. It's so powerful to be in alignment right now. And my friends, I'm feeling at the end of an era internally. I'm feeling at the end of an era externally right now. And this ending of this era, I keep looking to like, what's next? What is Spirit really asking for? What is this time really meant to, like, where is the tribe? Where is the community? Where is the new nation? Where is the new world? Where is it being built? And yes, it's being cultivated by many individual nodes scattered across the earth, just as the Bible once said it would be. They will be scattered to the ends of the earth. And then they will be called together swiftly. So I don't know what's coming, There's so much uncertainty right now. But if we lose ourselves in uncertainty, we're missing the point.
Yeah, I think the point would be to birth truth and birth your node of what you do want to choose. I think it's about willpower of mind, cleansing your body and cleansing your mind, tuning, as some people would say, your frequency to be able to walk in truth and faith. Choose spirit instead of fear. Choose, imagination and exploration instead of stagnancy, and consumerism in the ways that are dying right now. What can you birth inside of yourself that will remain eternal? What is the part of you that is eternal? And working on that every day. It's been coming to both of us really clearly through meditation and different sessions in nature, as well as the books we're reading, that discipline right now is really important. And so many people are struggling within this quarantine, whatever country you're in, with figuring out things to do with yourself, where it's almost the perfect opportunity for us conscious beings to be like, wow, I'm self-aware of myself and I have the choice of what I want to do with my time. What do I want to practice and cultivate? There was a question earlier about energetic parasites and how do you get them out of you? I mean, right now is the time to really focus on identifying the parasite / identifying the illusion of self and bringing it back to the whole, bringing it back to breath work, bringing it back to eating really clean, going to bed at the right times, and communing with the day in the right way, knowing yourself in a true and humble and honest way. We have the opportunity right now, instead of going into these realms of fear, to really come back and look at what's the true node. Where is our DNA real, and where is our DNA for changed in the rubric of the matrix or parasitic energies that may be feeding off of your brilliant soul, that attracts so many different energies to pull from. Yeah, and there's a quote that's been coming to me often from a woman named Kari Davis from Facebook, who posted something that said, "Do not take your armor off, no matter what. Your armor being your faith and your trust and your truth, something outside of this three-dimensional realm, something outside of our tangible conditioned thought, something like spirit, something like God, something to believe in that is transcendental of our current state in flesh."
Wow. You're amazing, Kayte Bear. Thanks for laying it all down. I want to dig into quite a few different pieces up there and really communicate.
Go for it.
At the depths.
You're
there
the communicator.
Yeah.
He's the communicator.
She's incredible. That is incredible. What I'm hearing in there and what I know to be true and is constantly being reflected to me in my reality right now. There's 3 or 4 things. 1, faith. Faith is your armor. And faith comes from a relationship to the unseen. Faith comes from a relationship to the void. Today, I've almost had the most insane experiences of revelation based off one statement. that the void is consciousness. When we accept the formless places inside ourselves, the most subtle, the most still, the most void places inside of yourself, realize that is where light is birthed from. Your form, your thoughts, your identity, your ego, this reality, all form is a byproduct of the darkness, of the void. And but the thing is right now in this culture and in this state of mind, in this frequency, we're scared of the void. We're scared of letting go of like what we think we know and who we think we are and these things out here and this identity and what we like. We're scared of building an actual relationship with the formless, with the void. But that's what actual faith is. And when you can seek that inside of yourself, to literally seek the void and become it, to be the void itself, you are entering literally the birthing portal of all things. The birthing portal is the void. It's the grand yoni. It's the zero. And that is where consciousness that is consciousness, right? So build a relationship with the void and build a relationship with the unseen, because as things continue to progress out here, shit's going to get crazy, crazier and crazier and crazier. And that's just the nature of life itself, even if things aren't getting crazier on the external plane. Things will always be changing. Welcome to the life of transience. Welcome to the life of lack. Life is suffering at a very large degree if we are identified with the external. There's always hunger, there's always pain, there's always change, there's always loss, there's always uncertainty. And as that crescendos, it is asking us, where are we sourced in? You see, it can be the greatest fuel. Chaos can be transmuted into the greatest order. Lack of spirit can be transmuted into the greatest revelation of spirit. When you're furthest away from God, that can be transmuted into the closeness of God. This is the law of polarity, and we're at this crescendo of chaos on the material plane. We're at the crescendo of order on the heavenly plane. Does that make sense? So as things progress out here, use it as fuel for faith. Every single time, resistance, fear, old patterns enter your consciousness, build your faith. The greater your faith, the less your despair. The greater your faith, the greater your fuel. The greater your faith, the greater your alignment. That is power. Faith is power. Faith is what moves spirit. By faith, the greats of old brought the temples of gold. Little poem I just made up. But anyways, that is one thing that's really, really coming to me a lot. And it's really hard to communicate about faith. How does someone cultivate that, Something you're going to have to turn to yourself and ask that question for. The other three things briefly here that came up from what you said is integrity, energetic integrity. That looks like discipline. That looks like a disciplined mind. I've been reading a lot of Marcus Aurelius lately. And Marcus Aurelius is a beautiful, amazing Stoic philosopher. And when you want to talk about true character and integrity, look to Marcus Aurelius or Seneca and what they have to say. This quote is coming to me so much is, confine yourself to the present moment completely. Engage with what is before you fully. Confine yourself to the present moment completely. Energetic parasites, energetic fractures, that allows disease in. That's crippling. Guess what? Fear enters through there and creates contraction. Faith creates openness. And integrity creates strength. You see, if you want health, if you want to be in alignment at the vibrational frequency of the new world, of the new order of things, right? Of these changes, it is through cultivating integrity right now. We're so fractured in mind, me too, myself so included in this. It's like today, for instance, every time I lost the present moment, all of a sudden a thought came in and it made me act immediately. But it was really kind of unnecessary. Or something caught my attention on my phone. All of a sudden I would wake up 20, 30 minutes later and be like, holy shit, I lost myself. I lost my intention. I lost my energetic integrity. And when we're in that state of drifting and leaking, anything can enter us. Basically, it's time to slow down and build integrity. Integrity looks like having a deep intention, moving purposefully, or not moving at all. To slow down and not do, which cultivates and builds your energy. To cut things out of your life that are draining and leaking. Integrity at the most practical and primal level, as above, so below, but as below, so above. By cultivating integrity on earth plane, your energetic body will follow suit. And that is the armor of God. Faith and integrity is the armor of God. Faith and righteousness. Does that make sense? And on the earth plane level, that just looks like, my friends, what is your simple intention? Right here and now, in this present moment, discipline yourself to be here now. Discipline yourself to be here fully, to see clearly, to be engaged with whether it's a thought, whether it's a video, whether it's an action, whether it's a breath, to be with it fully, to just do that thing. We're so fractured and fragmented in this modern culture.
Sorry.
Yeah. We're so fractured and fragmented in this modern culture. And to get back to the roots of things, which is perfect health and perfect vitality and perfect integrity, is to return to that natural place. Before there was a phone, before there was this globalization of all things.
Yeah, and it looks like spending time in nature. It looks like breathing very slowly from your abdomen. It looks like eating very clean foods. Really tangible A to B processes. Small goals, accomplishing
Right
them.
there. That's what I wanted to
Make
hit
a
on.
goal, accomplish it. If you put too many things on your plate, your energetic body will be so scattered and fractalized. Whereas if you just, that's what we mean by discipline, is A to B. And every time you complete that circuit from A to B, you're completing the circuit in your energetic body. Your ego is trusting your body. Your higher self or your consciousness is connecting the wires inside of yourself to be able to trust and continue to move forward. Every single time you don't complete these actions, you have to go back somewhere, whether you're sleeping or you're dreaming or you're resting or meditating, and your energetic body pulls all the energy back from these uncompleted actions, these bridges burned, these places in your life where you weren't integral, until you gather your energy back so you can walk from A to B in a straight line. And it's super important to follow through on that. Prepare your home, prepare your body, prepare your temple space for this shift to go down. It's really important that we are getting this time right now to settle up and make sure that the playing field in our own life is ready for us to really go to battle and to really go to war with the energies of Earth and the shift that we're going through. There's so much going on in the cosmos and the stars. Tonight is the full moon in Libra. I saw a comment that said that it's Passover tomorrow, which I wasn't aware of, but is extremely alarming and huge to be aware of, that this is the biggest supermoon in 2,000 years, and it's Passover. Passover starts tomorrow.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's in Libra, which on the map of the sky is really needed. Boom. Right now.
Libra.
This guy has
balance.
A Libra moon. It's good. It's balance.
Libra, my friends. Libra. A new order inside of you. A new order of relationship to the world. A new order of relationship to the self. A new order of relationship to the spirit. My friends, it's time to shake shit. It's time to reclaim shit. I've been tripping on sovereignty a lot lately, and sovereignty starts really at integrity, just as she was talking about. I loved what you said about simple intent and follow through. This is like, all the philosophy aside, everything we could talk about right here, like today, there's only two things you need to take away, really. One, cultivate faith. B, simple intention and follow through. This is going to reorder your whole mind, okay?
And weed out parasites.
Weed out all the parasites. Because the moment you find yourself doing something that you didn't intend to do, and your body's tight, you're tapping your foot again,
You're scrolling on your phone.
You got stimulation and like all these like parasitic urges. Like, whoa, reclaim yourself. This happened to me probably 20 times today. All of a sudden I caught myself just like, whoa, what the fuck am I doing again? You know? And it would take me like, 20 minutes of just like breathing to refine my true intent and my true self and my true vision. We're so easily discombobulated right now, okay? And through that, we need to return to the earth. The earth is the key, the earth is the medicine. And that just looks like, okay, not doing and then doing intentionally. And here's the thing is every single time you complete the circuit as she just described, every time that we set an intent, you know what? I need to take care of myself. I need to move my body and get out all the stagnant energy.
It's hard.
And then we take a few breaths on that. And then you do what ought to be done at once. And just do it with all of you. You don't have to be tight or stressed out about it. Just do it in the present moment, fully engaged. When you do that, when you set an intention and follow through, when you set an intention to clean the dish and you do it, you start to trust yourself. You build integrity again. And here's the thing, is through doing that, you literally revitalize the original blueprint. You refine your will. You weave discipline into every cell and fiber of your body. Every single time you can complete that circuit, you rewire the cells. You rewire the nervous system. And it starts with those small earthly steps. The final thing. So we have faith, energetic integrity. The final thing is will. Your will to power. Now this might seem contrary. My friends, spirit is lighting up a will inside of you. Fucking act. Do it. Move. Let your will burn. Will things with all of your will, and you will find the fullness of life once more. When we're far from death, when we're far from pain, we have no will. Why will we have will to do anything? What's the reason to change? What's the reason to grow when there's no pain? When there's no uncertainty, when there's no fear? When there's a lot of that in your life, my friends, you are closest to your will. Let your will burn fierce, and you will find the exaltation of beingness. My friends, we all crave to reconnect to the vitality and fullness of life, to actually feel connected to life once more. And to find that is to stop doing the shit that someone is telling you to do. Stop being subservient to parasites, to people, to things of this world. And let your will run wild, to feed on life itself once more. And it's hard to do. We got a long way to go and reworking to do to live in alignment with that true will once more. But just try it out, my friends. Get still, get silent, let your heart sing. Deeply communicate to each cell of your being. Awaken to this moment. Awaken to life once more. I literally talked to my body through my mind. I talked to every cell in my body today and told them to wake up. I told my body to come back to life. Right? I let my will burn through every ounce of my being. And from that place, when you move with all of you. You move as a fire in the night. When you move from that place, you realize that life is not about pleasure or pain or change. All of that just is. Life, the fullness of life is revealed in the fullness of will, in the fullness of beingness, to let your kingship and sovereignty reign supreme, to find the ruling principle inside of oneself and set it free. Will, integrity, and faith. Hell yeah, my friends. I think that was the message I really wanted to flow out of me. Thank you all for being here. We got so much in the chat. Wow. How you feeling, Katie Bear?
I'm feeling good.
Hey, everyone in here, we got 30 people in here. This is the most I've ever had on a live stream. Hit that like button so more people find this video. Maybe share it out. Get the people here. Get the tribe here. This message needs to be heard. The tribe needs to gather. Separation. There's no more time for that. We are at the supremacy, the polarity, the ultimate edge of separation right now. Everyone can find their homes. Guess what? That means the pendulum's swinging to unification. We are so strong if we can unite. The tribes are scattered to the edges of the earth. But to unite, we must be on the same wavelength. We must hold the same energetic principles, right? We must be in communication. Share this out. Hit that like button. Spread the message, my friends. I don't know how it's going to happen, but guess what? I got faith and I got damn will. Thank you for being here. Oh, that was a lot of fire that just poured out of me, Kayte.
Yeah.
Happens.
That's what we came to do, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. I knew Spirit was calling me to a live stream for a reason. I'm gonna look through the chat.
There's some interesting. I've been reading the chat. Some really interesting rhetoric going on there. There's some breatharian stuff, some juice stuff, some beautiful praises and thank yous. Dominic, I don't know if you're gone, but thank you for all your words. I've been seeing you over there. Christopher Finch, all of you beautiful people. Reality Files. Here we go. Hi, Dominic. Where are you from, brother? How's it going, everybody? How are we feeling in this moment? What, if you want to just comment one emotion that you observed when you joined this chat, just to get a little read on what's going on. There's a comment, thoughts about veganism. Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't know. It's all a matter of opinion, obviously, but I do believe that fruit should be our main source of nutrients. Like, have you ever eaten fruit really high off energy and realized that you were eating dense, juicy, full of light contents? I think we should be eating things that are alive and not dead. I think beyond veganism, I believe in like raw foods, liquidated, chew them really, really, really good, lots of water, nothing dense in your body. Our intestines are way too long to be processing meat as much as we are. And where meat comes from in our common day and age now is not a sound system to be a part of, energetically or morally, where we get our meat. And, you know, in order to restore our DNA and our true frequencies, we want to be eating things that hold the mineral densities that we need in order to continue to grow and not deteriorate. If you know of Taylor Budd or Tal Lord on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, he has a lot of information on how breathwork holds so much nutrients for our body, but also expels the most toxins as well. You expel 70% of the toxins from your body through doing deep and intense breath work for 30 to 40 minutes a day. More than your shit, more than your lymph, your dead skin, more than your urine, any of that. You're cleansing your body through your breath. And it's kind of a waste of energy if you're doing breath work and then you're eating dead things that take a longer time.
I would disagree.
Really?
Yeah. Just breathe. Breathe, please. Breathe again. Breathe into every cell of your body. Breathe the prana. Breathe back into the true self, even if it's for a moment. Go eat all the shitty food you want after if you need to do that.
That's not integrity.
Yo, no. Guys, integrity is not cutting yourself. Don't force it. Alchemize it. Okay? If you have addictions, if you got lust, like we all have all these major problems internally. I'm not saying to shame yourself. I'm not saying to, I'm saying to make the small steps, because that's the all step. The small step is the more we can self-remember, the more we can charge the being with the breath, the closer we will move to the truth, and the truth will shine through the darkness that is plaguing you. I feel the bondage. I feel it deep. Okay? I felt it my whole life so deeply. And having philosophies that are dogmatic, that are telling you, oh, that's bad, don't do that. Or like, I know I shouldn't eat this food right now, but like, I just can't let it go. Okay? Well, do it and watch yourself fully while you do it. Right? The more you can fall in love with the breath, the more you can fall in love with connectivity to life and prana, the less you will want to do those things that separate you from it. Stop resisting where you are and start building the new world inside of you. Build the new system and watch the old one die. The breath is the supercharger of life. That's what I wanted to say.
I like that. I agree with that. I was just hitting on the material side. Like, of course, breath is the answer to all of it.
Just breathe, baby.
Just breathe. We can always come back to that. Just keep charging, man. Keep your eye on the prize. Don't look back to see how close the dragon is behind you, or else you'll get eaten by it. You know, don't worry about falling off or not being. I constantly have the thought of like, am I evolved enough? Are my chakras open enough? Have I done enough self-work? Have I cleared enough blockages in order not to be incinerated by whatever happens on earth? And all of those thoughts keep me from pursuing like a warrior my path of unfoldment, my work of breath work. And it can't be rooted in a place of I don't think I'm going to make it. It has to come in a place of my only goal is on the prize and I'm not wavering from this path whatsoever. And whatever you can do on this plane, on the earth plane, to do that, you know, may look like hot and cold showers, may look like killing parasites in your body through eating fruit, or it might be just laying in the sun and forgiving yourself for ever trying so hard, forgiving yourself for ever dwelling in shame or guilt, and just really breathing in all the truth, not falling into these patterns of repression or shame, but opening and breathing in the moment, forgiving and allowing. It's all
Right
work
there.
in progress. It's about the journey, man.
Yeah.
It's about journeying, because once you complete it, then what?
Yeah.
It's just the next round, you know? Like, you might as well get really good while you're here.
Creation
You might as well focus.
never repeats itself. We're in a constant phase of evolution. And what you were just getting at, I love this idea, my friends. I've existed in many battles, in constant wars internally in myself that no one has seen, no one knows. And through that, I've really like identified a philosophy that feels so right to me. And that is to accept what the fates, what destiny has set upon your shoulder. Accept the burden. You might have terrible addictions. You might have terrible depression. You might have terrible anxiety. You might have terrible cycles and paradigms. You might have a lot of different pains in different places in your life. Stop shaming yourself. Drop the opinions about it. And love it. Thank you. Thank you for putting this burden on my spirit, in which I willingly lift up. May I ever strive for the next plane of being, may I ever strive for the transmutation of self, but along the way, may I carry this burden with dignity. Drop your opinions, stop identifying and reacting to the dogmas programmed into you by the material about what's good and bad down here. The only thing good to me is your will, your soul, your spirit through it all. I don't care what you do. I don't care what it looks like. Is this good or bad for me? What I care about is, are you you? Are you carrying it with dignity through it? Are you doing your best? That's all that we can ask for. You know? We are really at the mercy, on one hand, to the environment we were raised in, to the culture we were birthed in. I've been having a lot of righteous anger about that. Man, we are in a fallen culture so hard, so deep, that we don't even recognize how far away we are. Stop blaming and shaming and pointing fingers at people or yourself. Can we accept it? and love the burden the fates have placed on us, because your greatest tribulation will lead to your greatest strength. Your greatest tribulation will lead to your greatest purpose. Life is suffering. Affliction is placed on thee so that your soul can rise through the furnace into the perfected state. God chastises those who are close to him. Those who are far are unchastised, but those who are close to God are chastised. Those who are close to God carry great weights in their spirit. Those who have the most light in their soul face the greatest darkness. Welcome to the law of polarity. Welcome to the path you chose, the story you wrote. If you were reading a saga, a story of a master, that story would have crescendos. It would have the deepest sorrowful lows. It would have the greatest pain and struggle, the greatest joy and exaltation. Remember that you're living the story of a master, my friends. Stop identifying so hard with the dogma of this world and the dogma in your mind, and accept the burden you carry and work to live with dignity. The final point I want to make, my friends, is the more we connect to life, the more we connect to this moment, things just leave us. As our energetic integrity strengthens, as we remember what it feels like, what it could feel like to live and be alive and be here in this world, the more we remember that, the more integrity, the more magnetism, the more electricity is formed in the body. And from there, things that cannot exist in that state of resonance flee from you exponentially faster and faster and faster. Simply connect more, even if it's a moment, even if it's a minute, even if it's an hour, awaken to life again. The more you can taste real life, the more you will want to feast on it. The more you will want to feast on it, the faster things will flee from you. Make sense? Love all you guys in here. Hell yeah, we got so much in the chat. I think I'm done.
Watching it.
I'm done diving super deep like that. How deep? How long are we in here, Kayte Bear?
46.
46 minutes.
46.
So much love to you, tribe. Let's do the next half hour with the chat. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that works for me.
Cool. Let's do the next questions.
There's some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I would love to pick out the questions that are in the deepest alignment and try not to get too far off track, because I know people will be commenting all over the place here.
Yeah.
But also, guys, we're in a state of deep uncertainty down here on Earth plane. Like, what do you see? What needs to be done?
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of at this end of this era internally, like, okay, I built the foundation inside. I know what I do. I know what I want. It's like, what's the next step, though? I want real tribe. I want real nations. I want real new life to be born again.
Crystal grids to usher in more shifts. I like that. Burn down the 5G towers. Burn them all to the ground. With our breath. Sun gazing midday. I've never known this guy to miss a sunset. Ever. Weird.
Wow, that's immediate. I love sunset.
This guy sun gazes all the time. It's the most important reset button we could possibly ever press.
If there's one time of the day I commune with, it's sunset. Every day of my life. You know, like, that time is this, I don't know, I feel like we all have a disposition, a connection to a certain time of the day, a certain phase of the cycle. And for me, sunset's so important. So important to wind down, to fully awaken and be aware of the spirit and the magic of the earth and the magic of the flesh and the magic of the spirit through it all. And to, like, you know, wind down and process everything and reconnect to the deepest truth. Every single time I look at that sun, I see myself. I see my original state, and I see the state I'm returning to. And I don't know, it's just, you know, It's awesome having a touchstone in the day, a place, a space every day that reminds you, that brings you back home, even if it's for but a moment. Because without that, we're just in this constant drifting, changing cycles.
So the questions are, one guy burned his eyeballs looking into the sun. And Dominic asked, how long do you look into the sun? We've talked about before, it's not necessarily looking directly into the sun. It is often, but there's also this space in your peripherals. If you choose either to the right or the left of the sun, a spot where the sun can shine in behind your pupils, hitting your pineal gland, elevating your mind.
He was not prepared.
And he was not prepared. Burning parasites out of your brain.
Y'all, it's not about the eyes. It is not about actually looking at the sun. It is embodying the sun.
Yeah, and absorbing it.
I put the sun in my peripherals, and I start literally breathing it through every cell of my body as if it was my lungs. I start letting that light permeate through me as if I was an invisible field that was just starting to glow like the sun. But most of all, the sun is a reminder of the perfected state. Every single time you let that light drift through your eyes, and it's right there burning so damn bright, casting light out everywhere, feeding on everything and just pushing out perfected light. We have to remember that the sun is the symbol that rests at the end of thy road. When you take a breath and you feel into your heart, you feel into your centers of chi. Imagine you're taking a breath and you're breathing in all the light. And as you exhale, you are shining forth, and that light is just constantly funneling in and expanding out. Imagine you are becoming the sun. This is breathing into the sun state. And by doing that, the more you practice that, the more in touch with the subtle energetic truth, the more in touch you are with the mastery vibration. And by breathing into the sun state, you literally transmute all on earth plane. Does that make sense? It's not about actual, yes, for the physical body, sunlight is good for you. But the real benefits of sun gazing are about breathing with the sun, doing solar meditation. What are you saying in the chat, Katie Bear? I love when you're monitoring the chat for me as I dive in, and then we can go back and forth.
Yeah, it's funny. There's been a couple times where the chat has said a question and you just answered it on the flow that you were on. It's like your consciousness knew
one wavelength, baby.
How to
one
answer
love,
it.
One mind.
I'm glad you clarified that, because when I started just like staring into the sun as well. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
It's not about staring at the sun, guys. It's about breathing as the sun, letting it enter on the physical plane, so that you can have the below reminder and the above reminder in the third eye.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Be Happy. I'm not sure if you've been with this channel for a while, but they asked, what kind of breath work techniques do you have to breathe with everything?
Guys, I have probably 300 videos and audio meditations in a master breathwork package that goes from A to Z. That goes from the basics of breathwork on the physical plane to the most esoteric breathing styles possible. I do breathwork hours every day for like 4 years straight. It's like the most powerful thing you can do. Hands down. Hands down. And, if you want to find a place to start, look up Reality Files energy work. Especially some of my most recent videos about breathwork. I try to keep it simple and get to the point, but also throughout all of them, I'm revealing some of the deeper truths for those with ears to hear. Breathing through the esoteric energy body is the deepest mystery on the face of the earth. It is the mystery of mysteries. It is the full activation of the esoteric light per se. I don't want to get into that there. You can, let that guide some of your research maybe. Also, if you just look at my channel, go to my main channel page. I think the 3rd or 4th playlist down is How to Breathe by Reality Files. And there I have more basic and potent videos. The energy work stuff, I started this channel pretty off balance. There's a lot of videos in there. I kind of cringe at my oldest videos, but, for each their own.
Gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start somewhere, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Demetrius Milos and many people have been asking me about the Wim Hof method. Let me hit on this real quick.
Tell him, Christian.
Wim Hof method, powerful on earth plane. Powerful on earth plane. Nothing on spiritual plane. I like the Wim Hof method. I run a breathwork group where we do a lot of the Wim Hof method or Montauk Chia methods of breathing. And yeah, it's awesome. It really energizes and vitalizes the body. But guys, the true breath work is so slow, deep, and full, your breath is silent. When I do breath work for 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours, when I'm hitting that hour to 2 hour mark, my breath is about, maybe a minute inhaling, maybe a minute exhaling. I'm literally so subtle in my awareness. It is about practicing the most subtle perception of the breath possible, the most deep and full inhale possible, breathing through every single ounce, every cell of the being so slowly, because what you are actually doing is learning to separate the heavy breath from the light breath. Many different ancient esoteric texts talk about this. The ancient tantric yogis talk about this. There's a subtle breath, my friends. We breathe on more than the earth plane level. The subtle breath is the breath of light. The breath of light is the breath of chi, is the etheric breath, is the activating breath. And to separate the subtle from the gross, if you read the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, it is talking about subtle breath work. Separating the subtle from the gross, the fires from the earth. And gently, with great ingenuity, it rises. Doing breath work, my friends, is basically the art of perception, practicing perception all over the body, practicing breathing. And you get to this point in your development of that subtle energetic breathing where all of a sudden, even in between breaths, in your mind's eye, in your esoteric body per se, you are still inhaling. When you are exhaling on the physical plane, you are inhaling on the energetic. When you're exhaling on the physical plane, when you're inhaling on the physical plane, you're exhaling on the energetic. What this is doing is establishing a two-way flow within the being. This is establishing the self-generation of the sun, to be literally recycling your energy in two-way flow constantly. This is what the ancient yogis talk about, is where you can literally breathe without breathing, where you can exist without taking a breath, because breath is evidence of polarity, of duality still, because there's an in and an out. Perfection is where you are cycling the chi and prana without needing the physical aid of it. Does that make sense? That's the fastest and most simple way I could lay down the deepest truth there.
Yeah, and it's a matter of practice. It's a matter of building your awareness to be able to do those things over time. You have to have patience with yourself to sit down and create that container and continue to practice.
And it's not for everyone. I love the Wim Hof method. I didn't mean to shit on that. People are talking cold showers and different breathing methods. Guys, I love formulas. I fucking love cold showers. I love being in my body. That's actually what this time is calling for. I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from that. Do that shit. Breathe powerfully. Do the Wim Hof shit. Jump into cold shower, shake it out, and then completely relax yourself and embrace and laugh at the cold. Do those things. They're good for you. They make you feel alive. They energize the body, which prepares you for the deeper truths. If we're not in our body, if we're not, inspiration comes from an inspired body. If our body's not a vehicle that can hold the frequency of deep revelation, well, shit, deep revelation can't occur in the mind. Okay? So, I love the Wim Hof. I love cold showers. I love intermittent fasting. I love so many things. It's all great. And wherever you're at on the journey is exactly where you're meant to be. Don't try to reach beyond yourself. Be where you are and do where you are and fucking love it. Do it fully. Stop reaching beyond where you are. Only by being and doing where you are fully will you get there. For me, I reached so far beyond where I was for so damn long, and it created a lot of knots, a lot of tangles I'm still unweaving. Y'all feel me? Hit that like button, definitely. I'm just trying to get this video out there more so. I know more likes help more people see it, so hell yeah.
Hello, Jim.
Jim Folkers, when did you start gaining esoteric knowledge and waking up? I started watching your videos a couple years ago, and it improved my life and inspired me. Well, thank you so much. It really feels great to me, and I've been getting a few more affirmations lately of people that, are really inspired by me and also find my videos valuable, really valuable to them. YouTube does not share my content anymore. No one shares my content anymore. Very few people are finding my content these days, but I feel like it's getting more and more powerful. It feels great when people let me know that. Thank you, Jim. I'm glad it served you. And when did I start waking up and getting the esoteric knowledge? I have a long story. Maybe one day I'll share it. But essentially, at one point in my life, after extreme imbalances, addictions, burning out so many times, I was at this point where I was basically 18 and almost dead already. And my body was dead. I was watching myself die in the mirror, like literally before my eyes. And from that state, I got extremely sick. So sick. They thought I had viral meningitis. But that sickness was simultaneous with a massive awakening. I was doing meditation, so into philosophy and psychology. I was woke to the conspiracies and whatnot since I was like 15. But at 18, I realized I had an experience of spirit and found all this like spiritual knowledge all of a sudden and got really sick right at the end of it. And through that sickness, through being hospitalized, literally dead to my body, like my body turned off, the etheric and energetic truth was revealed to me. I started to feel all the energy around me. I started to feel the breath on so many planes of being because my body was dead. And that was 4 years ago. Since then, breath work, esoteric knowledge. I dove deep for like a couple years there. That stuff's slowing down. It feels so integrated and known in my being that I don't need to search it out much anymore. I mean, I love when videos maybe like come to my consciousness that I should learn about or watch. But for right now and right here in this modern day, my friends, like it's not about seeking knowledge anymore. I mean, for me at least. I already got that.
Yeah.
It's about the embodiment of the knowledge. It's to be the living symbol that the ancients once talked about. It's not about knowing information. It's about being the truth. That's what's needed. That's where change comes from. That's what I'm living into. And I mean, it's not something I even chose. It's just like esoteric knowledge and stuff. Like I just kind of stopped finding the things that like really rang all the bells into being. So I knew it was time for change, and my interest kind of drifted elsewhere. And I know at a different phase of my life, there's going to be a great time where the esoteric truths and mystery schools will be reborn at the higher level. But for right now, Spirit keeps telling me earth plane, embodiment, practicality, faith, and is living into all that you can be down here. Kino Simpsons, keep posting on Immortal Truth. Your knowledge is a game changer. Thank you so much, brother. I will. Whenever these ideas cross my mind, I drop it. I actually have 2 epic esoteric videos scheduled out on this Reality Files channel because that seems to be the only way that people find me out here. So, yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Christopher Finch, you should keep studying because you're falling short to the whole truth. I agree. I don't know the whole truth. I'm not there. I do study still. I don't know if I mentioned that. I did say I'm like, basically my inspiration, my interest is more earth-based right now, and that's okay. I'm just rolling with the cycles.
Yeah, that's where you're at.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do study still. Just like not every day for hours and hours and hours like I used to. I literally used to listen to like probably 8 hours of lectures and audiobooks on a daily basis for years straight. Like craziness, you know? These days, I'm reading Nietzsche right now, Don Juan, and Marcus Aurelius as they come to me. I have those 3 books. And um, I kind of stay away from like the deeper esoteric stuff because it seems to be distracting me from what the call of the times is for me right now. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like I don't appreciate it. I fucking love it. I know that's where the path, the deepest and highest path lies. But for right now, in my life, right here and now, what is Spirit asking of me? What does my inner being need and want? That's where the highest unfoldment is. It's not in some far off ideas. It's from being where you are fully.
$30.
We got so many guys. This is the greatest live stream we've ever had. 30 people in here, 30 likes, 1 million chats. I love this. There was potent info drops everywhere throughout this. Anyone watching this later or even now, even dropping time codes of where we dove in would really help other people out and help me maybe chunk this up for posting into later content pieces. But wow, there's a lot here. Let's read through the chat a little bit. Katie, have you been seeing anything?
Yeah. Well, we covered what we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
I think
we definitely covered the intention of this video.
There's some just beautiful little combos happening throughout. B. Johnson, I see you over there. Happy days. Look at all these humans. Cray cray. Thanks, cray cray. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the stars are in alignment. Guys, tap into the feeling. Tap into the feeling of magic happening. Right now, with so much change and uncertainty, it's impossible to see where you need to go or to think yourself there. Time for the magicians to step forward. And that starts at feel. Tap into the feeling of magic happening in your life. Tap into the feeling of massive things that are so far beyond what you can see are coming into place. Tap into the feeling of the stars coming into alignment for you right here and now, into this day and time. We're at the greatest supermoon ever. I want to hear more about what you said.
Well,
there.
It was in the comments.
But anyways, my friends, the more you can tap into the feeling, this inkling, that deep magic is occurring. That's where the magic is. That's literally the magic itself. And magic is occurring out here. The energy portals are open. The stars are in alignment. The heavenly energy is here. But we have to be open to it. And to work with it is to work with it through faith, because we are working with an invisible creative force. To be in relationship to the invisible is to have supreme faith, to cultivate faith. Talked about that way at the beginning there. But anyways, what were you saying about the supermoon? I want to get back on Earth plane here.
Earth plane shit. Well,
supermoon in Libra.
That's mine.
Oh, that's yours.
Yeah, supermoon in Libra. I mean, I'm sure everyone is well versed on the archetype of Libra, the maybe cycles of the moon, what a new moon really is, what it's a time to utilize in our practices.
But so it's the biggest supermoon in 2,000 years. Is that like confirmed?
That's what someone said in the comments.
Can anyone confirm that in the chat?
Fact check.
Is this like a huge annual, like, you know, millennial event, or is it just another super moon?
Well, this whole fucking year is a millennial
This whole
event.
year
brother.
has
Everything.
the most astrological alignments like ever.
Christopher Finch is on it. He's on it. It is. I do know that it's a pink supermoon. So, not quite sure what the story behind that. I know the last full moon we had was the worm. I know that the moon typically on the fall equinox is the beaver. Each of these animals has its own archetypal symbology behind it. This moon in particular has a lot of aspects to the other pieces of the sky that have been kind of catalyzing this big change, this big crisis on Earth, specifically Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. Those three together have been transiting the sky, causing a lot of havoc and change in the structures of our world, in the systems that we have built over the last 2,000 years. And we've really needed a moon that can help us hone in on balancing and integrating all this information. The last 3 moons, whether they were new moon or full moon, have been really in the subconscious realms, really airy. We've had Pisces, we've had Gemini,
Virgo was the last full moon.
Virgo. We've had a lot of like out there things.
No, last full moon was Pisces. You're right.
So we've needed a moon to kind of pour back in the information, back inside, back rebalancing inside of ourselves, sort of the standing ground of where we are. It's also, Libra is the sign of relations, getting in right relations with the earth, right relations with your routines, getting orderly, getting focused, getting balanced, embodying what you want to embody. This moon brings up a lot of things that might need to be balanced in our relationships with ourself or our life that maybe have been hanging out in the intuitive realms. Your guides, your spirits have been telling you to get on track with this certain item or this certain practice in your life, and you haven't had the motivation or the threshold to step through exactly. But this moon is sort of the embodiment of being able to come into balance with yourself. It's going to give us a catalyst. A full moon is full embodiment. It's expansion, it's dreams, it's lunacy. It's being able to create all these things that you want for yourself, and then during the full moon calling them in, having a moon ceremony with yourself, honoring that that thing is full up there in the sky, honoring that the tides are absolutely waning and waxing and pulling these energies inside of us, inside of our bodies of water and electricity. So this Libra moon is really calling for that balancing aspect. There's a lot going on in aspects of what planets are where. This moon specifically has a lot of aspects towards Saturn, which just entered Aquarius. Saturn transits a sign for 2 years. About 3 weeks ago, Saturn went into Aquarius. It was 0 degrees direct into Aquarius. Jupiter and Pluto and Mars will follow.
Let's tell them about Saturn real quick.
Okay.
Guys, Saturn just entered Aquarius. The moon's aspecting it on the supermoon in Libra right now. Saturn, yes, he's got a bad rap out here. He's the reaper of death. He's the lord of time.
Karma.
Pain.
Law.
Loss, order. Boundaries. But guess what else Saturn represents, my friends? Saturn represents and is the call to your highest destiny and the highest destiny of Earth. Okay? Welcome to the Age of Aquarius. We always follow the sun, and we're always resistant to Saturn. But here's the truth. Saturn is the polarity of the sun. The sun says, yes, I can. Saturn says, no, you can't. But Saturn says that for a very loving and deep reason. Saturn is God itself. So is the sun. Saturn is challenging you to rise to all that you can be. So right now, we're going to have challenges through the love and pursuit of our highest destiny. Those challenges are going to be in Aquarius. And Aquarius is about social revolution, the exchange and unification of community and ideas. Right? Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is about, shaking shit up, new beginnings. It's a higher mind, per se.
Yeah, and its shadow is also, it also rules technology, advancements in technology, telepathy. Its shadow is using that for destructive forces. But it's also
Right there.
It's also
Oh,
that's mine. It's also like the shadow gives contrast in order to birth the light. You have to have the brother cut off. Sorry. That just distracted me.
Anyways, guys, Saturn is called a higher destiny, and he's moving into Aquarius. And Aquarius rules new ideas, social revolution, but also rules technology. It's the shadow. The shadow of Aquarius is like technology, you know? So right now, we're going to be moving into this phase where there is a call to higher destiny, but the obstacle, the cataclysm that is existing to force the will out of you to move to that higher destiny, that obstacle is going to be craziness with technology and technological advancements in this globalized world right now, and everything going on with the old order of things, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Things have been getting shaken up for a while in this aspect. We've had Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn transiting together through the sign of Capricorn, which is the old age that we are leaving, which is why Capricorn rules systems, governments, the earth, its cardinal earth. It wants to set up all these infrastructures. And those three together kind of transited all of those paradigms and woke a lot of people up to seeing what we need to shake up in our government systems, in our systems of how we consume products from the earth and whatnot. And whenever those three get together, they amplify this amazing alchemical like concoction of transcending old paradigms. And it just happened to be that we were transitioning with those planets from Capricorn, systems, government, order, into Aquarius, which is technology, advancements, higher consciousness, the pouring of the water, so to speak, the watery air sign, as some people would say. I saw a comment that had to do with angels. It totally has to do with all of that sort of realm of archetypes, just like whatever you want to label it as. Words will always be far less superior to like your innate feelings, but could be aliens, could be sentient beings inside of ourselves or outside of ourselves. There's so many different things going around, but to look at the true archetype of Aquarius and what is being asked inside of that transit is where we're going to find the truth. And if we can ride the wave instead of resist the wave and follow and observe the patterns of our life that are being called, then you will continue to flow down the path that we are on the celestial path that we have seen. I don't know, Christian. I don't know.
I love everything you just said.
Yeah. And we will see those three planets continue to expand from each other and catch up to each other as we go through these portals of coming back into remembering. And pay attention to what the astrologers are saying over the next 6 months. They've been talking about March 2020 for a long time. What happened when all these planets met up, when Mars joined them in the side of Capricorn, when Saturn transited into Aquarius. That was predicted, whether it was in ancient civilizations or somebody on YouTube a year ago. March 2020 was really coming up quick with a lot of things to shake up in this world. We're going to see those planets go direct for a long time. And then somewhere in the middle of May, Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto all go retrograde. They go backwards. They're going to turn off for a while. Things are going to chill out. they're going to go all the way back into Capricorn, and then in September they 1, 2, 3 go direct again. So, and they'll transit it back through what they were teaching us.
21 people here. I don't know if they all know all the signs of astrology and planets and whatnot. But
wait,
God,
there's a question I want to answer.
Yeah.
What are some of the best astrologers to listen to? We personally listen to Coyote Star Astrology. I also listen to a woman who calls herself Wonder Girl Astrologer. But there's a lot of different
join some Facebook
people,
groups on it too.
Santos Bonacci.
Guys.
Absolutely.
Astrology, here's the thing about astrology.
That's what you need.
If you're following horoscopes, guys, there's so much hype around astrology. Oh, this is the greatest supermoon ever. They say that every time. Oh, this is the change. This is the rapture going on right now. Like, guys,
will always be that way.
It's always going to be that way, okay?
Always.
But here's the thing about astrology. To me, yes, observing the law of correspondence is powerful on the path to knowledge. The law of correspondence being, wow, these things are happening in the stars. What's happening inside of me? What's happening on the face of the earth? How are they related? Journaling about that, reflecting about that in the past. But the deeper level of astrology, that the only important part to me, really, the deepest and important and most highest importance, is the knowledge of the archetypal story communicated by the stars. This is astrotheology. Look up Santos Bonacci. Do we understand the signs and what they represent inside of you? Do we understand the law of correspondence and how the stars and the signs correlate to the tarot cards, correlate to the Bible, correlate to every story ever told? Every story is but a piece of the story written in the stars. And when we can understand that story, we have, you see, when we build an understanding of an archetype, and it's related to color, it's related to, experiences, it's related to, like, stories and characters, it's related to virtues and failures. When we know an archetype so deeply, we can start to think in ideal images. The ancient mystery schools of Pythagoras, of ancient Egypt, of so many different cultures, were centralized around developing the initiate to the capacity where you could think in ideal images. Because when you can think in ideal images, you are essentially moving enormous amounts of matter in one thought. You can make connections that are universal, that are enormous, that literally move and vibrate on every plane of being. So this is why Pythagoras had their initiates, study the ideal images of sacred geometry and harmonics. That's why in ancient Egypt, or Aleister Crowley would say to study one tarot card every day and to know the archetype so well. This is why Hermes had gnosis talks, which is essentially, the correspondences at a high degree, is to build this archetypal understanding so you could think at higher planes of resonance. That's what astrology is important for, not for horoscopes necessarily, as much as ways of thinking and relating to yourself in the world. Oh yeah. Guys, we're hitting 122 right now.
With 22 people.
22 people.
And 32 likes.
There's a lot of twos going on. A lot of yin and yang moving in. I'm feeling the energy ebbing. We've hit on so much. Guys, there's gold in here. Especially in the first 45 minutes, I would say. We dove in on the signs of the times. I loved doing this with everyone. This was so awesome. I don't want to... I just got an update from my astrology app about the full moon. Right now, guys, is the full moon. Right this very second is the full moon in Libra. Wow.
In Colorado.
In Colorado, anyway. Yeah. Guys, this was awesome. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for all the chats. This thing has been lit up. I can't wait to make this a habit and do this more often. Maybe on the moon cycle, we'll talk and figure it out. But it's really badass. It feels in perfect alignment, gathering community, gathering tribe. Open up the space for all you guys to communicate with one another, drop questions, be a part of the frequency, join the waves, and give spirit a mouthpiece to speak on the waves. That's what I see myself as, you know. So thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This was awesome. Definitely join the newsletter so you get updates about when I'm doing this, and also join the Facebook group. I've been going live, you know, multiple times a week in the Facebook group lately. It's a great place to share my quick insights and, you know, interact with people more like one-on-one. There's a link for that in the description. And to join the newsletter, just go to realityfiles.com and scroll to the bottom. You'll see the little sign-up form. Thank you all for being here.
Keep on practicing. Keep on coming back to truth, faith. Keep your fucking armor on. Keep on moving on.
Guys, this will leave you with something potent. Go watch from 10 minutes to 30 minutes if you're watching this now and join late. It's about the signs of the times and what is most called for right now. What is most called for in both of our minds and both of our experiences is faith, energetic integrity, and learning that again, and will. Faith, energetic integrity, and will. My friends, may spirit be with you. You got anything else to say here?
Good job, everybody.
Peace out, fam. So much love to you. Shoot me emails if you want to connect or have any further questions. Share my content if you feel called to. Please. It's the only way people find me. YouTube, Google, they don't promote my shit anymore. Thank you all for being here so much. Stay strong. Stay connected. Let's unite. I'll see you at the next live stream, live event. I'm going to be migrating these over to my Facebook group soon, so make sure you're over there. Much love to everyone. Peace out.